Hey, what's going on everyone? How you guys doing today? Welcome back to another 2 video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the best grenade launchers to take into the next season. Yes, I'm still calling it season because even Bungie calls it season, so I'm going to keep calling it seasons. But yeah, today we're going to be going over the best grenade launchers, how to get them so you can be ready for next season. If you guys are wondering why we're doing this, is because there's a lot of new mods in the artifact that are grenade launcher specific, so it looks like we're going to be in a stasis grenade launcher meta next season. And if you guys want to learn a little more about the mods, you can go check out this video, in which I go over all the good mods in case you want to find out a little more about the mods before watching this video. But without further ado, let's get into it, and let's start taking a look at some of these grenade launchers. First of all, I want to take a look at some of the exotic ones, and we gotta start with the Wither Horde. This is like the first grenade launcher that I immediately thought of when I looked at all the grenade launcher mods, because this thing is gonna be fantastic because of its damage over time. I think the damage over time is gonna pair up really well with all the mods by either just constantly stunning champions, constantly applying debuffs, or constantly reloading your weapons. I hope that it actually does end up working that way, where it just keeps reapplying debuffs and debuffs until the damage over time runs out. But I think maybe there's gonna be like a cooldown, like a hidden cooldown in between procs, especially for the auto loading mod. That's gonna like auto reload all your weapons whenever you do some grenade launcher damage. That's probably gonna have like a bit of an internal cooldown. But even then, I think the Wither Horde is gonna be a fantastic addition. It does great with big enemies, it does great against ads, and the mods are just essentially gonna make it even better. Now, I definitely recommend that you get the catalyst for this weapon, since the catalyst is huge. It gives you a ton of handling, and it also gives you auto loading. Another great thing about this weapon is that it's very easy to get if you don't have it. You can just head over to the tower, to the exotic kiosk, and go to the Shadowkeep exotics. And there you can buy this for an exotic cipher and some glimmer, so it's not too bad. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to using the Wither Horde with the new mods. I really think that this thing is gonna be amazing next season. You definitely want to keep this in your inventory. After that, we're gonna have the Fighting Lion, and this one is a primary grenade launcher, meaning that you're gonna have unlimited ammo with this thing. You're never gonna run into any issues, and you're always gonna be able to spam it. Another great thing about the Fighting Lion is that it's getting a buff next season. Basically, every shot is gonna apply volatile rounds. Essentially, it's giving you more ad clear and more synergy with the void builds, meaning that the Fighting Lion is gonna be pretty good. And there's another one where I recommend that you get the catalyst. The catalyst here, maybe it's not as good as it was on the Wither Horde, but it is still pretty good. It gives you a bit of reload speed, and also it makes it switch into your other weapons faster. But I think the main draw of this weapon is gonna be being able to just fire this thing as much as you want and not really have to worry about ammo. Now, for this weapon, it's gonna be a little bit harder, but your best bet is probably just picking it up from Sir. That's gonna be like your best bet at picking up a Fighting Lion. You still get it from the Sir Ingram. Next, we're gonna have the Anarchy, and this weapon is gonna be good for a similar reason as the Wither Horde. It basically does damage over time, so you're able to constantly proc those new mods. And also on top of that, it is also an arc grenade launcher, meaning that not only will you be able to take advantage of the new grenade launcher mods, but also the arc mods. It is like an arc stasis artifact this season. Definitely a lot more stasis, but there is some arc, and the Anarchy will be able to take care of that and make the most out of it. Now, the Anarchy is probably gonna be like the hardest one to get, especially if you don't raid, because while it is available at the kiosk from the tower, it does require some spoils of conquest, which require you to either do the raids or go and farm some of those free spoils of conquest chests a couple of weeks. And I'll also leave a link to a video I made where it shows you how to get some free spoils conquest without having to do the raid. Now, this one's gonna be a little bit more out there, but hear me out. The Salvation's Grip, I think, is actually gonna be a really good grenade launcher for that season. It is a stasis grenade launcher, and with all the grenade launcher mods as well as the stasis mods, I think this thing is gonna be fantastic. It's definitely not gonna be anything crazy when it comes to damage, but it's gonna bring in so much utility to your stasis builds that I'm definitely thinking of putting this on a couple of stasis builds already. This and a couple of the stasis abilities, you can easily just dominate like an area, and especially with Onslaught coming back, I think the Salvation's Grip is actually going to be a top tier weapon for the new Onslaught mode. I know, sounds kind of crazy, sounds like I'm out of my mind, but believe me, the Salvation's Grip is going to be good. Use wait, let me cook a little bit with the mods, and I'll make sure to bring you guys at least 3 different Salvation's Grip builds. And you can get this one pretty easily since it's a quest weapon, and you get it from the Stasis prototype quest. I think to get to this quest, you actually have to finish Beyond Light first. So hopefully all of you guys finish Beyond Light. If you haven't, well, that's something that you can do before the next season. This is probably one of the weapons that I'm looking forward to the most, trying out with all the mods. I just think that it's going to be fantastic. Now let's take a step back from the exotics and take a look at a couple of the legendaries. Although for the legendaries, there's not really as many. Now the first one is of course going to be the Mountaintop. And what Bungie is pretty much going to be bringing out an exotic Mountaintop next season. The OG legendary Mountaintop I think is still going to be pretty amazing. So hopefully you guys have a good one. And if you do not, you can get this weapon from Onslaught. Just make sure that you go to Sabala first to attune to the Mountaintop, so you have a better chance of getting a good one. And when it comes to the perks that you're looking for, Recombination and Vorpal are basically the perks that you're looking for in the second slot. And for the first slot, either Auto Rolling Holster or Impulse Amplifier are going to be your best bets. Any of those perks are pretty much going to be good on the Mountaintop, and they're going to make the thing feel really good. This is definitely going to be one of the top grenade launchers next season, especially if you want to save your exotic slot for another different weapon. Now when it came to choosing a grenade launcher for the energy slot, there was a couple of them that I had in mind, but the best one I definitely think is the Wild Style, the double fire grenade launcher from the Nightfalls. Now what makes this weapon good is just the great amount of good perks that it's got and the different perk combinations that you can make. If you want to go with damage, you have things like Reconstruction and Vorpal. Even though Reconstruction is taking a bit of a nerf, I think it's still going to be pretty good. Or if you look for some ad clear, you have things like Incandescent plus Enemy Assassin. You also have Danger Zone, Bait and Switch, Reconstruction, Reconstruction, Incandescent. You have a lot of different just perk combinations that are good on this grenade launcher. That getting a good one is not bad. And since it also goes in the energy slot, it doesn't really have to compete against something like the Mountaintop. So if you're looking for an energy slot grenade launcher, I think the Wild Style is probably going to be your best bet. Now before we head over to these heavy grenade launchers, because those are going to be pretty simple, let me talk a little bit about the Waveframe grenade launchers. I'm not sure how effective the Waveframe grenade launchers are actually going to be with the new mods. We're definitely going to have to try those out first. But I don't think that they're going to be as effective as just the regular grenade launchers. Because some of the mods do specify that you need to do direct impact damage with the grenade launcher. And as we know, the Waveframes are not really great at that. I mean, you can hit the impact damage, but there's no guarantee that you hit the wave afterwards. So you miss out on a lot on your grenade launcher. So because of that, I think that you should keep some Waveframes to the side, just to kind of see how it plays out with the new mods. But that's why mostly I'm just talking about regular grenade launchers instead of the many Waveframes that are good in the game. We have many different Waveframes that are really good, and I'm sure you already have some of those ready to go. But we'll definitely have to test out the mods first before we can start recommending some of those Waveframes. And lastly, let's talk a little bit about the heavy grenade launchers. But I left these till the end for a reason, because I think most of them are gonna be pretty good. Sure, they won't be able to take advantage of some mods, because some of them are exclusive to loaded grenade launchers. But the mods that they can use, they're pretty much gonna be good on all of them. I think Stasis and maybe Arc grenade launchers might be a little bit better, but that's about it. That's the only difference, really. It's mostly just gonna come down to the roll that you have on it. If you have a good roll on your grenade launcher, then it's gonna do pretty well. And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much what I wanted to say about the heavy grenade launchers. That's why I kind of left them till the end. Now I'm here from the future because after I had recorded this, the Bungie released the TWAB and showed us some of the new things that they're doing to the Prospector. So now the Prospector is going to be completely reworked. Instead of doing what it does right now, which is have sticky nades and also have a burn effect, it's instead going to release little cluster bombs whenever you hit something with the Prospector. Which, according to Bungie, should actually increase the damage you do with the Prospector, but because of that they're also lowering the magazine on it, and the catalyst is also being changed to reload speed instead of increased reserves like it used to be before. Before it had tons of reserves, but even with all those reserves, it actually didn't do a lot of damage. So hopefully this new Prospector is gonna be better than the last one, but we'll really have to wait and see. It's definitely gonna have to be one of those first weapons that I try. But that's pretty much the grenade launchers I want to talk about. They're definitely not all the good ones, but if I needed to talk about all of them, we would be here for a very long time. And there's even the new ones that are coming, like the Stasis Mountaintop. So, if you guys are excited for a certain grenade launcher, make sure you guys tell me down in the comments below. But with that, we're going to end today's video. I appreciate everyone for stopping by and hanging out. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, everyone. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.